and all that.
Absolutely. All right, gentlemen, let's move straight to our next conversation. The fiasco in Osun State over the just concluded local government elections is far from over. After the state government defied the Court of Appeal judgment, reinstated the sacked council chairman, and a call by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice to stop the council polls, candidates of the ruling People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the state won all the 30 council seats. Subsequently, Governor Adeleke has inaugurated the council chairman but asked them to stay away from the secretariats. BQ, there was an election on Saturday. The PDP has called it a good election. The governor has sworn in the council chairman. The APC has called it a disgraceful sham. BQ, what do you make of this?
I don't know if it was disgraceful. I don't know if it was worse than other local government elections, because I know a lot of the governors who have organized local government elections know in their hearts that they merely deceive themselves. Elections where you do not have detailed election results, is that one an election? You can't call that an election. We need to see results from polling unit to polling unit. Result collated at what level, let us see. But what some of these funny governors are doing, they will just go and announce result. This is announce winner. You announce winner without result. What is wrong with you? You announce winner of an election without results. You just announce winners. The impunity is too much. And I'm wondering, is this how we will continue to move on in our country? Is this how we will move on? Because it's getting worse. People can talk about Adeleke today, the dancing governor. But I don't think Adeleke has done what is worse than others have done. If you are saying that the election conducted in Osun is a sham, the local government election, how about other states? Rivers, other states. Can they say that they organize elections? Elections where it's a winner takes all affair, zero-sum game. You don't even want to spare anything for the opposition.
Most parties don't even bother.
Somebody said the Senate president had to beg so that at least his constituency...
In Akwa Ibom?
Yes, that was what I heard. I don't know whether it's true or not. Maybe when I get to talk to the uncommon Senate president, maybe he will confess to me whether indeed he begged the pastor governor to let him have even one local government at least.
He can have an home base.
So governors are doing what they like in the shape of local government election. That is a problem. Where that of Adeleke is different is because a court of appeal.
Exactly.
That's where it's different. In Kano, a court stopped the process. Abba Gida went ahead and conducted. They were not ready to listen. I think in Kano, the governor is even shaping up to become a notorious disrespecter of court judgment. You saw what he did even with the yes, he didn't show regard to them. He proceeded, despite an injunction, to take an action. He was lucky in the end with the judgment that said, okay, go and start all over again. If he wasn't lucky, they would have said, oh, you can't build something on nothing. And then the entire process
would just be...
So he's very lucky. Maybe this will cause him to change. Adeleke, there was an appeal court judgment. They told me that the appeal court judgment was ambiguous. I then went, I was challenged by a lawyer based abroad to go and read it. I didn't see ambiguity. I didn't see ambiguity. I was clear when a court says that the appeal is allowed, it means that the reliefs that the appellant sought are fully granted. What is ambiguity? He proceeded to do the election. And now, the same man has said, okay, don't go to your, I've decided to swear you in.
But don't go to
don't go there.
The secretariat.
Don't go to the secretariat.
What does that mean?
He's the one who knows what he's planning. Maybe from what I heard, he wants the appeal, the judicial process exhausted.
Okay.
Before they can go and take their positions in those councils. But the APC council chairmen, that the appeal court validated their status, they have decided to go to work. So it is a kind of surreal drama that is happening in Osun State. You took all of that pain to organize an election only to tell the people that and you decide to swear them in on a Sunday because you thought they would go to court to use an injunction to stop you from swearing them in. So what others have been doing, swearing people in on Sunday, he too decided to swear them in, inaugurated them on Sunday, but said, no, don't go to work yet.
Okay.
Some people have said, oh, it's to avoid a clash, to avoid bloodletting and all that. I don't know.
All right, gentlemen.
Until he speaks to us about why he did
All right, gentlemen. We have Stephen calling from Abuja. Stephen, thank you so much for joining us in Journalist Hangout.
All right, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Let's talk.
Babajide and the likes. Compliment of the season.
Yeah. Good evening. Good evening.
Okay. Yeah, I would just like to say, Babajide has said something fascinating. The fact that he said, Kanu, governor, disobeying order, court orders and all that. It's not just peculiar to Kanu State. It's not peculiar to Osun State. The truth of the matter in Nigeria system today, we need to hold the whole system called the judiciary. I don't want to hear conference, SDGN, the higher authority should come together, let them have a conference and dialogue on the issues of wrong judgment failure. In fact, they need to even declare anything that has to do with justice system in Nigeria, emergency. They need to declare state of emergency in the law in Nigeria.
Okay.
Because it is failing in all aspects of life, not only in politics. Jungle justices, you go to court to seek justice, you are being betrayed either by resources, you go to another issue, you bring a matter of either human rights abuses, the system is bastardized.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Stephen. Yeah. You heard this. But in this regard, looking at this whole situation now, what is the next step? Let's say for the Attorney General, because you know the Attorney General actually weighed in. What is the next step for the Attorney General on this matter?
Yeah, two things. One is the fact that due to the local government law, governors not in charge of local governments no longer have the power to really oppress local government chairmen as before. So that to me is the only bright light out of this darkness. Because I don't understand why a judge will sit down. They fully well that judgment has been given by another higher court.
Exactly.
And he will sit down with authority and still give an order that he knows is unenforceable. And then people will obey that law and they just assume that let's throw this thing down the line. Maybe it will swing our way sooner or later. That's the danger we face.
I don't know what the NJC can do. The NJC has become powerless to control irresponsible judges. Judges who defy superior courts to go and give judgment, like the one who gave the judgment in Osun State. Even somebody who did not read law knows that you cannot, after a court, a superior court had made a decision on a matter, you can't go and still litigate on that matter and give a fresh order. I don't know what's going on. So then Governor Adeleke now say, okay, I took the decision because a high court told me to go and conduct election. Whereas There is an appeal court judgment that you chose to disobey by claiming that it was ambiguous. Show us the lines of the judgment that are ambiguous.
But we saw the lawyers of both parties interpreting it the way they didn't fit.
That's the, that is why.
No, the lawyers too
yes.
are doing, they are part of the problem. They are doing what some judges are doing. I remember a judge who decided to litigate on a matter, something that happened in Anambra State. He came to Birnin Kudu in Jigawa State to give a ruling on a matter affecting Anambra.
Purely local matter.
So these things happen, and then you see lawyers too. Some of them will go to TV stations and be arguing in a manner that turns the law upside down. They know that they are lying. Some of them are today's sons. I look at some of those lawyers and I say, these people went to school. But look at the way they are misbehaving. It's a big problem. What it was said that we need to do something about the judiciary. It now appears now. It appears now that it's only the Supreme Court that people respect in our country. It is when the Supreme Court gives judgment that people think, okay, this matter is resolved.
Because it's the court of national policy.
So people now, governors disobey court orders.
With impunity.
With impunity. They don't even care. Some governors, like a former governor of one of the northern states, will even choose what orders of the court that he wants to obey. It's the height of irresponsibility. That person knows that I'm talking about him.
Do you think the CJN now has
but they've been warning these people. You see, the thing is, the NJC is very archaic, very anachronistic in the way that it decides cases. You can imagine something that happened a long time ago. NJC will be deciding on it much later.
After the fact, yeah.
That would never serve as a deterrent to judges. Okay. When these things happen, sit quickly and take decisions. When you start doing that, these judges will sit up. But something happens, you don't even talk about it. I know a judge, for example, that they decided to punish after he retired.
Really?
This same NJC. They know I'm not lying against them. After he retired, then they issued some punishments. I know another judge that there was a petition against him. They didn't do anything about that petition. When he now retired, they now came up. It's different from that one, or the person that I'm talking about, that they came up with judgment. Later even became a traditional ruler. The one I'm talking about, the second one, the petition was filed months. Months. They didn't sit on it. They didn't do anything. Then maybe the guy got wind that, oh, they were finally preparing to sit. As they were moving at snail speed, he quickly retired. After his retirement, we then saw their resolution. I said, come on, bye-bye. What's going on now?
And you can't call a judge back from retirement.
How can somebody who has left? What are you punishing him about? He has left now.
Exactly. The bird has flown the scoop.
I've even seen judges who sued the NJC.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, but gentlemen, gentlemen, as we wind down, this standoff between PDP and the APC on this Osun matter, how would this affect grassroots governance in Osun State? This standoff.
Generally, maybe in the future, we'll begin to feel the impact of local government administration much better.
Okay.
But in our country, on a general note, people are not feeling the impact of local government administration as they should. One, because governors are stretching their necks into the activities
of the local
governors are tampering with their funds and leaving crumbs for them to work with. So in such a situation, they can't even do much. Governors, in the name of joint account, are even some projects. It's okay, we'll do this project, we'll do it together. They will take local government funds, and the chairman dare not. If you try to even argue with him,
you might be gone.
He will show you who is the boss.
Exactly.
So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, we are going through a system that is not working. While some of us
even now that the Supreme Court gave that judgment, governors are doing their best to frustrate it.
They are working seriously to make sure it doesn't work.
People will readily predict that it will not work.
Yeah, we see the situation in Anambra State as
no,
well.
because the way it is going, in a state like Osun, their government is the only resource. The government is their NNPC, is their MTN. In a state like that, the governor is God. Yeah, because everything revolves around the government of the state. So in that, nothing will change fundamentally between what is happening and what will happen. Because most of the time, most of the local government chairmen are in Osun anyway.
It's the way it is in many places. They don't go to their states, their local governments. They stay in the state capital.
The problem we have is that...
especially those rural
chairmen.
Yes. They rather stay in the capital than...
I know a
rural councils.
I know a council...
They stay in the state capital.
Once they see the chairman, it's the day to get paid. He comes in maybe twice a year.
All right, gentlemen. Well, it's a fine place for us to leave at Ganika Idibalo.